The purpose of this spreadsheet is to record Fred and Alicia Ring's expenses. The way that I completed this case was with this information, I turned it into a table like it said to, and then I dragged each different tab and filtered it each different way. And then in the last few tabs is when I created my pivot table and my pivot chart. And this is the other pivot table I created. Now, while we didn't have to use formulas in the sense of sum or multiplication or stuff like that, something that I thought was, really helpful was the pivot tables, and I think that they inputting all of the data and being able to drag each the different categories into where it needs to go into the values or into the rows or reports. I thought that was very helpful and I really enjoyed using it. A particular feature that I learned while doing this case, for instance, was the ability to select a tab and drag it to copy it into a new tab with all of the same information. It's much easier to be able to hit control and drag to a new tab with all the same info, just so that, if you were to copy and paste it into a new tab, sometimes the information can get jumbled up or something. So I thought that that was something that was really helpful and made it so much easier to do this exercise. The difference between a pivot chart and a pivot table is that a pivot table is a quick way to summarize large amounts of data, and a pivot chart is a graphical representation of the data that is in a pivot table. I think that the reason that we had to create a pivot table is because there was a lot of information and data in this spreadsheet, and by using a pivot table, it made it easy for us to sort through all of the data and be able to see it and understand all of it. I personally don't think it would have been easier to search the data with formulas. I think it actually would have been harder, and it would have taken much longer of time to get through everything and be able to have done all of the things that we did. I also personally would have gotten very frustrated with trying to find the data with the formulas. So I think that creating pivot tables and pivot charts are a much easier and a much user-friendly thing.